Hello and welcome to the second episode of this here podcast. I'm your host. We'll be doing this every Friday, and I'm excited to have you guys back. So the first story of tonight, we're going to talk about the Bucks versus the Nets. Now the Bucks, what more could you hope for from a team that just won a championship than for that team to come out day one looking like the best team in the East, because they absolutely did. I had them being the first seed in my over-under from last week, and they were showing that that was the right choice. Early on, they lost Drew Holiday to a heel contusion, but it did not matter. Their defense was unfucking stoppable. Point Giannis, was looking great. Both ends of the court. He was dishing out, he was scoring, he was defending, he was playing elite basketball. We saw Jordan Nwora doing incredible things on both sides of the court, getting steals and converting that to points on the other side. It was beautiful basketball. It was beautiful team basketball. That's what you want to see from the Bucks. They did it. They're going to do it again. 60-win team. I'm still riding high on that bet. The other side of the court, we had the Nets. Now, the Nets lost 23 points, and it was atrocious. KD was out there. He was casually dropping a 30-piece. That's what he does. And he looked good doing it. James Harden was kind of struggling now that the refs are implementing their new rules of the 2021-2022 season, and he was not drawing fouls, and he was bitching at every ref he saw about it. After their big three, that roster gets way too thin to where that's the main concern you should see for them being a championship team. You can say they're a championship team, but then do you really want Blake Griffin and Nicholas Claxton to be your front court on your championship team? Because I don't. And the elephant in the room, Kyrie Irving, still not vaccinated. I doubt he's going to get vaccinated. I doubt New York is going to buckle on their rules. So I really see this being a situation where they can look at game one, but you don't want to overreact and do a fucking giant trade based off one game. But I think that this trend will continue, and I think that they'll be like, we need at least some depth, and they'll trade him. They'll get some role players. They don't need picks, but they at least need some contributing pieces besides Kevin Durant and James Harden. And I think that that's kind of the direction they're going to be looking. The next team on the ballot, we have the Warriors and the Lakers. The Lakers, just like the Nets, they have a lot of shit to figure out. Now, their bright spots, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Kent Bazemore, you could say that he played good defense on Curry. It's impossible to say, because Curry might have just had an off night, which you rarely see from Curry, but you could just notch that up to Curry being off. And then the Russell Westbrook elephant in the room. Yeah, he looked like shit. He had some good passes, he had some good assists. He's Russell Westbrook, but the question going into this season is, how do you have three guys that attack the rim, no spacing, all start on a championship caliber team, and after you watch that game, you still have to sit back and be like, I don't know how they're going to win a championship with three fucking paint cloggers. They can figure, if anyone can figure it out, it's those three. But after game one, we're still like, how are they going to figure it out? And that's all for opening night. Moving on to day two of the NBA season, Knicks and Celtics. I was very happy about that game. If you recall, episode 1, I was saying, I think that the Knicks and Celtics are either on par or the Knicks are better than the Celtics. And game 1 showed it. Because Jaylen Brown was playing out of his goddamn mind. That is the best Jaylen Brown we've ever seen. Clutch, pulling up from 40 yards, sinking it. Jaylen Brown masterclass. You can't ask for anything more from him. And they couldn't get the job done. And I think that the real question you have when you look at that is this team really real? Because I don't think they are. I think that the entire world is catering to Boston's giant market. They have so many fans that it's like, yeah, you guys are a contender. Jason Tatum's an MVP. But really, they're not. They're not contenders. He's not an MVP candidate. They're two great wings. And you're asking for like a serious job from Time Lord. That guy's not going to give you serious production. Marcus Smart is your third best player, and he should not be a third best player on a championship team unless you have depth out the ass, which the Celtics do not have. They could be better, but that was just, it was some confirmation on what I originally thought. I'm not hot on the Celtics this year. The Knicks, on the other end, I am hot on. And they had a lot of great stuff to show in Game 1. So the Knicks came out. Evan Fournier, he's coming right off his Olympic fucking run. And he's looking hot as hell still. He's playing out of his mind. Julius Randle's playing out of his mind. Julius Randle had like a 35-point, damn near triple-double. And they weren't even in sync. The two best players are still getting to know each other. And they're playing incredible. They don't have Nerlens Noel. He's going to come back. Mitchell Robinson is back. He's bigger. He's stronger than ever. He's getting a little gassed. Conditioning is something that big men work on. That'll come as the season goes. He'll get ready to play big minutes. He's playing like a fucking monster. No one wants to see him in the paint. He's doing good. You're going to have Nerlens Noel coming back in. They were trying some small ball. And Randall and Obi Toppin in the small ball lineups, they were looking good. Obi Toppin's quicker than your average 4. And Mitchell Robinson, or Julius Randle, was holding his own in the paint. So, nothing but beauty coming off those Knicks. I'm hot on them. I said last week, I don't think that was a fluke that they did last year. And they're showing, no, we're a real ass fucking team. You don't want to see us in the playoffs. And I agree. The next to talk about is the Wizards and the Raptors. Now, the Raptors were missing their star player, Pascal Siakam. And OJ Anunoby, hey, chunk. OJ Anunoby was playing like absolute dog shit. Chuck. Quítate, puto.
Yeah. Hope we keep in that clip of Chuck.
I will. So Pascal Siakam's gone. You got OJ Anunoby playing like absolute dog shit. The team is not figuring it out. You can say what you want. I'm not hot on the Raptors at all this year. They are coming back to their home city of Toronto, and they should do better. But I don't know. I think they are in the mindset of they're getting ready to deal out their major pieces. They lost Lowry. I don't know what pieces they wheel and deal. I don't know where they're going. Raptors are not that great, but the Wizards, I was high on them. High on them respectively. The over-under was 33.5. I said that's a 34-win team for sure. And they came out and they showed it. Their new coach, their new system, he's getting them playing defense. That's something the Wizards don't fucking do. They don't play defense. Today, they held their opponent to below 30% field goal percentage. The last time they did that, Michael fucking Jordan was on their team. Alright, it's been that long. They haven't done that in so fucking long. They're playing defense. You got Montrez coming off the bench, being that spark plug, bringing that energy. We all know he can do it. He's looking like that 6th man of the year candidate again. He could fucking be the 6th man of the year. They're looking good. You're going to have Beal on the starting. You're going to have Montrez coming off the bench. And then they're going to close together, and it's going to be nice. I'm hot on them. Perspectively. The next team on my list here, I got the Nuggets beating the Suns 110-98. And you can't take much out of that because that was an awful game by the Suns. They're going to do better. We know what they were. They had a short offseason. They're going to come back better than ever. Maybe not better than ever. But I think Ayton, he's got a lot to prove. He was denied his max contract extension. He wanted that max money. Front office said no. And he's like, no, I'm a max player. He's going to show them that this year. And they're going to, I believe in them. They're going to do better going forward. And the Nuggets really didn't have any outlier. They didn't have anyone that was outstanding. Jokic played great. He's the reigning MVP. You expect him to play great. So what he did was not mesmerizing. You had Will Barton playing very versatile. He was doing very good. He was keeping that bench going. You know, Korkmaz was playing, or Campazzo was playing good. But overall, I don't think there's much to take away from that game. Next game on the list, the Jazz destroying the Thunder effortlessly. The only takeaway I can really say from that game is Lou Dort is a beast defensively, as is Gobert. Gobert pulls down 21 boards. Lou Dort played good. He locked up Donovan Mitchell. He's been doing that. So, good for the Thunder. They got a lockdown perimeter defender, but there's not too much to take away. Everyone knew the Jazz were going to win. They won. They got business done. They're real. They're going to keep doing this. I want to talk about the 76ers and the Pelicans. So for the game, the Pelicans bench was fucking awful. They're still waiting on Zion. There's a lot to wait on. But the big elephant in the room. Jesus Christ. Tiny.
That's no elephant in the room.
The big elephant in the room with the 1976. The big elephant in the room with the 76ers is Ben Simmons. And the thing about Ben Simmons that no one else wants to say, that is the absolute truth, is that he is in the right. The whole world is looking at him like he's the villain, right? That he's the one acting childish. Really, look at Doc Rivers. In the post-game interview when they got knocked out and the media asked, is Ben Simmons a championship caliber point guard? He said, I don't know. No, as a coach, you say yes. It doesn't matter if you fucking believe it or not. You ride with your team. It's a cohesive fucking unit. You ride together. What did fucking Joel Embiid have to say about it? Well, I think it all kind of falls on one person, one play. No. It doesn't fall on one person. You were in Game 7. How the fuck did you get to Game 7 with the Hawks? That is an entire team collapsing. You can't put it all on him. The whole city's burning his jersey. The whole franchise turned on him. They caused that. They're the ones that mishandled the situation. And Ben Simmons just said, if you say fuck me, then fuck you right back. And he's in the right for that. If I'm the owner, I'm pissed at the other players and the coaches for saying what they said. Because at the end of the day, the media wants you to believe he has no leverage. How is this for leverage? That team owes him 9 figures. He is locked up. They got $35 million going to him this year. And that's not something they can just replace. They can't just wave that off. He walks, and now they can refill that with people. They have to fucking trade him, or they have to bring him back. And they're not going to get the haul they want. He's got them by the balls. That team cannot contend. They want to contend. You can't contend with $35 million of dead cap. He's got them where he wants them. They're all pretending like he has no leverage, like he's the bad guy. No. You said fuck me. I say fuck you right back. And you guys are fucked unless you do what I want. He's got them by the balls. No one wants to admit that. No one wants to admit that what he's even doing is in the right. The whole fucking world turned on him, and he was like, well, fuck you too. Like, you can hope you get that fucking Malcolm Brogdon and some picks, but you're not hauling Damian Lillard for him. Because not only did the entire franchise devalue his value, his trade value, by saying he's not a championship point guard, but the whole league sees that you guys are in between a rock and a hard place. You have to trade him. And so they know that they don't have to give you what he's worth. And on top of that, now they have to think, do I really want a guy on my team that if we make him upset, he's just going to sit out? Like, that's kind of a hard thing to want to build your entire fucking franchise around. So they're not going to get a luxurious haul like you would normally get for an all-NBA player. They're going to get jack shit of what they wanted, and Ben Simmons isn't going to give a fuck. Because you guys all turned on him, and you kind of deserve what you're getting. Next thing on the list. The Kings and the Blazers. CJ McCollum did great. Damian Lillard was horrible from behind the three. And, you know, it's one game. I think my favorite thing I got from the game is, one, Buddy Hield he embraced the bench role. He was much more comfortable. He let the game come to him. He looked good. They came out on top. I had some other notes, but really, my favorite note, if I can go into my phone here, was a quote from, I think it was Luke Walton. There was a lot of interviews I was listening to at work for the post-game interviews. It might have been the assistant coach, but he said, and I quote, "We were letting guys finish on us." And I think we should just kind of think about that for a while. Thank you, Kings, for giving us that wonderful quote. Moving on. Timberwolves and the Rockets. The Timberwolves were playing good D. Their big three came out. They showed out. They got the W. The Rockets aren't really some incredible team to win. They had a bunch of teenagers. Jalen's looking good, but it's not really something that you can, like, you know, he has great potential, but you can't really, there was nothing mesmerizing to talk about from this game. all around, not a very eventful game, but good job on the Timberwolves. They came out, they showed up. Ant was feeling himself. He was doing good. That's all I can really say about them. And I think that will conclude. I'm looking forward for the Mavericks game. I want to see Luka. I want to see if he contradicts my last week's projections. Maybe he confirms them. We'll have to wait till next Friday to hear what I have to say about that. Thank you and good night.